Morning. Good morning. Happy Thursday, guys. Hey, we're live here at Apparel Redefined, wonderful manufacturer in Chicagoland. I'm with the president, the extraordinary John Leroy. John, good morning. How are you?
Morning, Kurt. Thanks for coming by. Always great to see you in person. We see a lot over the screen, but great to have you here on the South Side.
Well, absolutely. So we'll go down the line. So I've got my dear friend Jacqueline, hands down the best last name in manufacturing. Hello, Jay. Jacqueline, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Kurt. I'm doing great. Happy to be here.
We've got DB over here, Derek Brubaker. So, Derek, good morning. How are you? What's going on, man?
Good. How about yourself?
Good. So you know what? While you've got the mic, let's start with you. You know what? I don't know if we asked him last time. Should I ask him the question?
Sure.
So, hey, first off, tell us what's going on with that shirt there.
Just a little bootleg, Freddie versus Jason. I have a very specific T-shirt that I like to wear. It's the only shirt that I wear, so I buy things and kind of repurpose them. So I got on the back that's cut off of another T-shirt sewn onto here, kind of just a little niche that I do, and done it by fixing mistakes and kind of just being a really picky person about what I wear.
And that's your background, right? Graphic arts?
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of how I started in this industry, and then kind of was full-fledged, thrown into the fire and learning how to operate machines, kind of do little stuff outside of what, I was prepared to do. And that's kind of the delight of the industry and why I'm still in it, the problem solving and stuff that I've grown to enjoy. It's fun to have a challenge every day.
Well, excellent. So, all right, Jacqueline, let's go over to you. I know you've got a couple of questions that you want to ask, and let's dive into Apparel Redefined. So, great name, background. What do you want to share?
All right. Well, let's start with what is Apparel Redefined for the audience.
Yeah, so it's a morph from the original name, which was A&R Screening, A&R Custom Screening and Monogramming. So obviously we had to short it down. So A&R was the initials of the original founders, Angie and Rich. And about 5 years ago, when we moved into our current facility, we're like, it's probably time for a change. At that point, I just bought out my old partner, and I'm like, I want to pay homage to the original founders, but we want to reinvent ourselves, right? So that's where we kept the initials and repurposed them to Apparel Redefined.
That's great. So I think it really worked out to your advantage. When you talk about Apparel Redefined, you've really done a nice job of redefining who you are as a company and a brand. So tell us a little bit more about how you're redefining the future of the company.
Yeah, so that's like a multi-approach question, but for me, like what was really important about it, more than just like redefining how you decorate apparel, for me it was more about redefining an industry, because like similar how no one thought they would get into a stranger's car 10 years ago, and now everyone's getting into it because of an app, right? And kind of destroyed the entire cab industry. I wanted to reinvent an archaic industry. Everyone wears decorated apparel, right? And unfortunately, it's just got a bad, negative, dingy feel to this industry. Like there's no technical trade school. It's not technically a trade, but it's a skill. And we wanted to turn it into a career for people, because again, bringing an emphasis back to manufacturing in America, this is light manufacturing. We are adding value. We're essential. But the industry is not treated as such. There's not a ton of barriers to entry. It's a very garage-based industry, but to elevate the industry and elevate the people in it is a goal of mine. And so that's, to me, too, like a two-part. We want to redefine how we can source decorated apparel, but also want to redefine the industry and elevate it. So that's kind of the two-pronged approach why we picked that name.
Well, it's absolutely a perfect name for what's going on here. And dive in. So let's talk a little bit about print on demand. So we've got the website behind you. Yeah. Man, look at that mustache. I have such mustache envy every time I see that video. But we're looking at your website up here. So we've got a couple of things. You've got retail solutions, contract services, print on demand. Explain what is. I know you're super excited about print on demand. Let's explain what that is for folks.
Yeah. So the easiest way I can describe it, Instagram, Facebook, everyone that has a following or not, or emerging as a following, one of the ways you can make money is merch. And the old way of doing merch was you would predict what would sell, and it would be housed in a warehouse somewhere in the Midwest. Order would happen online or through traditional retail channels, and then they would ship. There's just a ton of waste and a ton of uncertainty into what's going to happen. You don't know what sizing you're going to hit. So print on demand has been around for a while, but the technology and the advancements in the equipment and the execution of it is really what's changed in the last 4 to 5 years. And us growing up in screen printing, we're really accustomed to quality. And we weren't going to stand behind something that we didn't feel that would meet our quality standards and spec. So we searched all over the country. One of our previous episodes, we had the president of Rock here, and that's the partner we picked for our print-on-demand solution. And it's eco-sustainable, it's friendly, or eco-friendly, it's sustainable, it's a water-based printing. And then just the whole method of it. Essentially, like you order, you go into your digital cart, and we're going from cart to customer in 24 to 48 hours. So as soon as you place that order, it gets digitally printed, we pack it, we ship it out, and there is no waste and there's no guesswork. And there's also no risk. I mean, you don't know what's going to hit. These creatives and these artists put stuff up, and it's a great idea to them, but is it a great idea for the marketplace? Or do you have the marketing and distribution to push it out to enough channels to get that idea out there? And before, you'd have to take that risk, because if you didn't have the product already produced, people weren't going to wait 5-6 weeks for it to be produced and shipped out. So now you eliminate all those barriers, and a print-on-demand solution is the way that a lot of people are moving towards e-com. Well, sorry.
No, I love it. I absolutely. So I keep popping in. So let's go ahead. What were you going to ask?
Oh, well, I was going to grab the samples and talk about some of the examples of the amazing print on demand. This is a lot different than having a, velvet lettering that you'd iron onto a t-shirt you'd find at the craft store.
So like stuff like this, like traditional screen print, this would be, anywhere from like a 7 to 8 color design. And what that means is a lot of time in setup, right? Even with the advancements in pre-press that's going on right now, there's 2 problems you have. Like when you set up a job like this, are you going to get the exact same color representation the next time you set it up? And if you don't have your parameters dialed in, if you don't have your color set up right, it's really tough to do that. So even within the same design, you're going to lack consistency. And that's not good, especially for an online retail that has licensing deals and all these types of specs you're supposed to hit. Where print on demand, you're going to get this same look every time, because the digital file is being interpreted by the rip and printed the same way every time. So not only is it more efficient, you're getting better quality results just because of the repeatability of it.
That's awesome. Derek, do you have we're kind of doing a horror theme today with our Freddy versus Jason, but Derek, do you have an example that you can show, or like what is your favorite type of printing or style or companies that you print for?
Yeah, I mean, I would say these guys are really up there, especially when you have items that are photorealistic, and then you maybe run into something like this that is a little bit more spot color-esque, that is traditional for screen print, right? That doesn't have as many colors, but it really just the feel and the technology that we stumbled upon. Again, I'm really picky, and DTG, is it ever going to be screen print quality? We're really, really close, and I think I'm pretty satisfied with where we're at right now in terms of what we've been able to achieve. I mean, we took 2 years to kind of make sure that this is what we were getting involved in, because we were zero digital beforehand, and it was a pretty brave jump to get such a heavy piece of machinery instead of just sticking your toe in. And that's kind of what we've done, and I think everything that comes off of that machine is top notch. We're continuously doing 50 wash test cycles. I'm doing some on some fleece today, just ensuring that we can stand by that quality, because why we got into this and the redefining the industry, people are doing this, they're out there, they have the technology, they've built it, we're still piecing things together, but their quality isn't there, and that's what's really been a challenge. And that's where we're kind of trying to set ourselves outside of the parameters that already exist, because people do it and they have the processes in place, but they don't do it well. So that's what we're trying to do, is just continuously evolve the industry because John had mentioned it is archaic. It's a trade. It's dirty. It's messy. You know, you really have to have talent to be a screen printer. This kind of allows us to not so much bring in somebody that doesn't have talent, but, you know, take away some of that guesswork and, you know, questioning what color am I using? What color did we use last time? You know, is it the right color to be using? You know, we have a ton of interesting technology here in terms of even our LTS system that shoots extremely beautiful screens, but you can't even print the quality that's coming out of those screens. So this is just another avenue, another tool that allows us to, you know, not say no to a job because it doesn't make sense, you know. So we can print one shirt. And in terms of all the overhead that John's talking about with these people maybe being stuck with inventory, what this really allows people to do is to not have to miss a sale because somebody wants that shirt and it's out of stock. Now they can just purchase that one additional shirt, those 2-3 shirts, instead of them just purchasing one from that vendor's website because maybe that other shirt was out of stock. So yeah, long story short, it's been, you know, interesting to kind of push the boundaries and be happy with the quality that we're producing and, you know, just continuously evolve the process because it's a tricky one to make all these pieces work seamlessly.
Wonderful. So you mentioned some machinery. You also mentioned technology. Is this the Ferrari, the big green monster that's sitting downstairs?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Tell us about, John, can you tell us exactly what the name of that equipment is that you have?
Yeah, it's called the Rock Now. Rock is a company. They're based out of Portugal. They're U.S. Branch. They have one in Florida and one out on the West Coast. But yeah, it's called the Rock Now, and it's the highest class of print on demand out there. There's really like only 3 or 4 players in the market that have taken like a screen print carousel and have added digital equipment to it. The concept's been out there for about 4 or 5 years, but the execution in terms of all the components that go into it, and it's really cool. Like from a manufacturing perspective, like everyone does something really well, but it's hard to do like 10 things really well, right? So like this manufacturing component is really cool to see like all the different companies that are kind of represented to come together to make this one machine to make a freaking t-shirt. You know, it's crazy. Like one of the things that Derek said too, that I want to chime in on, one of our guests coming on in a couple months here, his name's Chad McLean. And like, you're making a t-shirt, but what we say too is like you're making a memory, right? Because you remember what you were wearing at like your biggest moments in your life or your favorite times in your life. Well, one of the things that we talk about, like a really good business transaction is like where all parties win, right? So like our customer wins when they're able to sell more shirts. The end customer wins when they get a product they really like. And if you can get all 3 of those people together having a really good experience, that's the best case scenario, right? So in Chad's case, like he's got a platform, he's got a following, and how can he do the most impact for his group? And he really wants to help veterans and people like that that are struggling with PTSD. He wants to make a difference, right? And if he's able to create really cool designs with no overhead, no inventory, and then donate a proceed of those of what he's making back to these impactful organizations that he knows is actually making a difference, and you do it through decorated merch rather than, hey, just give me money, which works, you know, but if you're actually getting something back that's a high quality product and then you're wearing it and promoting the business, like that's a perfect synergy of like 3 or 4 parties coming together and everyone benefits. So having this equipment, back to your original question, really empowers that. And then it makes you feel more comfortable where it's like, you're not just putting a product out there. You're not putting a Chotsky out there. Like this is a shirt that will last, that everyone, you know, is happy to buy and also we're happy to sell it because we can stand behind it.
Well, and happy to wear it. There's
Yeah.
so many times that
Right.
you're, you know, at a charity event and you donate money and you get, you know, just a poor quality, poor printed t-shirt. And where does it go?
Mhm.
The bottom of your drawer or a landfill. So Kurt, I'll hand it back to you because you need to have a drop the mic moment and talk about the tagline here.
Well, you just mentioned the memories, right? And that is your tagline is making memories. So do we want to take a look at that Marine t-shirt that you've got going? So, you know, lots of exciting things going here on here at Apparel Redefined. So John, tell us a little bit about this shirt here.
Yeah, so this is for Nike USA Wrestling. They have a massive annual event up in Fargo, North Dakota, in about a week. And wrestlers from all over the world will come in and compete in a national tournament. And we're really happy to partner with Nike and their team to be the provider of apparel. It's pretty tight deadlines, but yeah, it's cool to see athletes get so stoked about an event and just having a little part of it, because growing up playing hockey, baseball, and traveling all over the country, one of the things that's so cool to look back is your tournament tee, where you look, I'm like, oh my God, like I can look at that t-shirt and remember the games, remember the performance, the ups, the downs, and then you got, your thing on the back, you press a star on there on site, that type of thing. So yeah, it's really cool. And again, it's attaching memories to a piece of apparel, and it's so powerful. Like I haven't seen it, go through a drawers cleaning out every once in a while. Like I haven't seen that shirt in 15 years. And it's like, first of all, my wife's like, why the hell do you still have it?
Like, it's what us guys do. We keep t-shirts for 20 years.
She's like, you can just make another one. You have a whole company. I'm like, yeah, but it's not the same. It's not the shirt that I got from there. So yeah, it's crazy how much power a piece of cotton conveys.
It's so much more. And whether it's a baseball hat, like you said, whether, I remember my little league, teams from 100 years ago, so it's like, as kids, you remember your sports, the events, the concert that you went to at a certain age, or it's all about the memories. I know that really stuck out to you. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I love it. I mean, I equally am guilty of having those memorable t-shirts. I have bins of them, that the ones I can't get rid of, but can't justify still wearing. So, but no, it's a really powerful concept that, we don't just make t-shirts, we make memories. You are not only a t-shirt and printing guru, but you're also a marketing guru.
Well, let's go here. While you have the mic, share a little bit. So Jacqueline Kaloje, you're part of IMEC. Why don't you just, for anybody that's not familiar with IMEC or the MEP network, what is the MEP, Manufacturing Extension Partnership? Just share a little bit of your role, how you help support awesome manufacturers like these guys.
All right. Well, so MEP centers manufacturing extension partnerships. Every state, including Puerto Rico, has an MEP center. IMEC is the Illinois Manufacturing Excellence Center. So we serve all of the Illinois manufacturers. We really work hard to ignite enterprise excellence, really push our Illinois manufacturers to step up their game in a number of ways so that they can continue or become globally competitive or stay globally competitive in a really tough kind of manufacturing landscape. So different services. We have a ton of different technical specialists that can guide our manufacturing clients. We're really big on lean and 5S. We have a ton of leadership capabilities and skill sets to come in and help. I sit in the marketing and growth space. So I have the pleasure of working with our manufacturers to talk about their marketing and their sales processes and programs, and just really guide them, help make connections to resources like Kurt at B2B. Apparel Redefined's been working with Kurt for a number of months, and really uncovered a lot of things that, maybe when you started working with us, weren't sure where to go and how to proceed, but really unfolding this brand into just a really amazing, like your marketing program is awesome. You've invested in SEO and an SEO boost. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit, let's bring it back to you. Okay. So engaging with IMEC and working with Kurt on doing all in on your SEO. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about what that process looked like, and then some of the results that you're seeing because of it.
Yeah, great question. So it was more of like getting out of my own way and getting out of my own head exercise with Kurt and his team, and doing the sequential steps and events to get to where we are today, right? Like kind of like the Field of Dreams scenario. We had a sand lot, like with a chain link fence, maybe a snow fence, like just a really crappy baseball field. And we were expecting people to come to it, right? So we had to build the Field of Dreams. Our website needed to be redone. Kurt and his team did a phenomenal job building the website. And what's really cool too is, like, again, you're in the kitchen, you're making the food, making lasagna, whatever. And it's like, you you taste it, you think it's great, it's my lasagna, like, or my mom's, but when you have other people that are customers or potential clients come to your website after and they're like, oh my God, this is really nice. And then you have people outside of our industry that are like, hey, it looks really good. I think it looks good, but I'm the one that helped, like give you the vision, right? So, but it's like, it's really good to get that affirmation from people outside of your industry, even inside, like, this looks really good, really professional. So I'm like, okay, so now I have that affirmation. So now what's the next step, right? The subject matter expert interviews and getting it out there. And it's just like, I like doing it, but like when I see it hit the socials, it's kind of like, oh God, because then my phone blows up every time. I mean, there's actually an Instagram feed that my buddy sent last night where it's like the testament of true friendship in guys is much different than girls. And like, if you're really good friends and you're part of a really good group, your love language is absolutely ripping on each other. And like, if you have someone else new in your group and they don't rip on you, or they're really bad at it, or they get really sensitive, they're probably not going to work. And it's it's true, because literally every time something drops, I get like 100 texts. So it's
that is true friend. That is true love there for the heart sign all over you. Right?
So it was just like, honestly, it was like that fear of like, oh my God, what are they going to think? But it's more like, okay. And then we go to these shows and, I've seen people at golf outings I haven't seen in like 20 years. And like, it's like, okay, it's working and it's getting out there. And then taking it to the next level and doing more of the inbound and then tying in SEO. It's like the strategy that you have, I didn't understand. And now it's like seeing it all come together kind of slowly is really cool. It's really cool. Yeah. And we've never done it, you talk about all the time, stop being the best kept secret. And for a while, even our clients kept us a secret within their own community because they didn't want to lose like the relationship or turn time. Essentially, that's what they didn't want to lose with us. But as we continue to add capacity, I got plans for the new building over there. We need to get out there, and we want to be in different industries and verticals that are underserved. So yeah, it's really cool. And one of the things too with IMEC that I'm also really thankful for is they've turned us on to a lot of different programs. Like we have really good relationships with the high schools in the area and a couple of adult transitioning programs where we're bringing a focus to manufacturing for these kids coming out of high school or out of high school already that haven't gone to college. And like, what do they do? And that's another passion of mine. Is like, not everyone should go to college, right? Especially kids that don't know what they want to do, go get saddled with 200 grand in debt, and then you don't really have a skill, right? So we've had kids at one of the high schools in the area had a screen printing program. 3 kids here now have been with us for I call them kids, but they're 6 or 7 years here with us right out of high school and have turned it into a career. Wow. And then now we work with MCIP, Manufacturing Internship Program, and we have 4 interns start yesterday. And these are kids anywhere from 22 to 24 that go through a 6-week program. And it's all, manufacturing jobs in Cook County here, and they get exposed to it. And we've gone through, I think this will be our 3rd iteration of a 6-week internship program. And we've actually hired full-time, I think, two of those candidates. So,
wow.
Yeah, really cool.
How about a round of applause for that? So congratulations. Yeah. So all right. So segueing into that, let's talk about, young folks going into manufacturing, right? And, we need that pipeline. Sure. Like my generation, Gen X are like, we're starting to retire. Baby boomers are retiring like crazy. So we need this young generation coming in manufacturing. Derek, let's go to you. What attracted you to Apparel Redefined? What got you fired up about manufacturing? And why do you just absolutely love what you do? As we're talking about, like, providing these memories.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of was in the industry for 4 years prior, and just was kind of looking for a new ceiling. So I had a buddy that kind of taught me the entire ropes of the industry and the ins and outs of screen printing. And he had worked here previously, and then he decided to come back at one point. And, I just kind of had hit a cap where I was at. And I just saw that, a larger company, a little bit more innovative and, just a higher ceiling of opportunities. So I came here, started in embroidery, and then opportunity opened up in sales. So just took a crack at it, told John that his, global plan of being in every shipping region, I would want to be the first person to be at that second location, so just love the industry, the creativity, the problem solving to it. You know, you're not just spinning the wheel every day. It's like, okay, what now? You know, what problem are we going to face today? Because there is going to be one. You know, whether it's with machinery, whether it's with a job, whether it's, you know, quality artwork, you know, it's something. There's always a challenge. I mean, try and find a Richardson 112 during COVID or an XL black hoodie. You know, you really have to shift, and you know, you got to. It's a very minute problem, but you got to figure out how to solve it. You know, so yeah, I enjoy it. I'm a huge Lego nerd, so just things like that. You know, putting pieces together, you know, to make something work is just kind of what I enjoy. John says it all the time. It's not the sexiest industry, and it's not the most rewarding, but at the end of the day, you know, it is. You know, because what we're able to do, you know, is do what nobody else wants to do. Everybody wants to sell their products these days, but nobody wants to actually do the work. You know, and it's going to be pretty awesome when you're kind of last man standing and nobody else is doing it anymore.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it's incredibly admirable. I've had the honor and privilege of being part of the team here for over a year now.
Yeah.
It's been well over a year, and I've watched you grow, and it's just phenomenal. And again, you know, back to the memory thing. Think about the kid out there, you know, the teenager out there riding his bike with his horror movie T-shirt on, thanks to you guys, or the Little League team that's out there just rocking it, and they just won their championship, celebrating in your uniforms, or the school or the bride that just had a bachelorette party with shirt, you know, like, and again, it's like, it's so much more than just a piece of cotton. I want, you know, but I know we're coming into time a little bit. Dude, I love when I'm getting chills even thinking about it before I even ask. You have taught me so much. Brand promise. I can't not have an interview with you without you talking about the brand promise. So for our entrepreneurs out there, you know, we work with a lot of people. They're just starting from scratch, right? They have an idea, they take it from idea to hobby, turns into a side hustle. Now they want to take it into a business, and they need, you know, Apparel Redefined to kind of help them execute that brand promise. What is brand promise? Take us there, and how are you helping the companies on a daily basis maximize that?
Yeah, the best way I could talk about it is like when you look at the established brands that have spent a ton of money, ton of marketing, like when we talk about Coleman, right? You're gonna go climb Mount Everest in a Coleman jacket, even though they make apparel, or you're gonna climb it in a North Face or a Patagonia, right? Without even knowing the product line, that name is promising warmth for North Face, right, and durability that you can go climb that mountain with it. Now, if you're gonna go cooking on your camp, right, you're gonna bring a Coleman camping griddle, or or something else, but you're not going to bring, it's that promise of consistency, reliability, and quality. And some brands, like if you think about Amazon, it's not necessarily quality, it's speed, right? Amazon sells speed more than anything. So it's what does your logo, what does your name, what does it convey either consciously or unconsciously to the customer? And whatever it is conveying, it hopefully aligns with what you wanted to convey. But if not, how do you fix that, right? Or how do you get it out there? Because not everyone has the marketing dollars of Amazon or Best Buy or Patagonia or North Face. So how do you start small? How do you get it out there and not only deliver that brand promise to your external client, but your internal client, to your employees? Because you have to do what you say and say what you do in order to create that belief in what you're trying to do, not only for your customer, but for your employee as well. And one of the easiest way to do that is to solve the eternal human need of feeling feeling part of a group, right? And nothing does that better than decorated apparel. And if you have a really good logo, and if you have a really good saying or whatever it is that is unique about what you do and about your company, your organization, convey it, get it out there, get people behind it, get people proud. You see that every Sunday in the NFL, fans going nuts over, for me, a G, right? For other people, a C. But it's crazy, the brand loyalty. You just watch, the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. Every freaking fan in Edmonton owns a jersey. That entire stadium is orange and blue, and it's crazy, they're not cheap, and neither are the tickets, but everyone is so proud to wear their team's colors. Well, make them proud to wear your company colors, right? If that logo means something, convey it, get it out there. And like pencils and cups and mugs and that type of stuff, it works, but it's temporary. you have to wear clothes, so to work. And again, like
Good point.
well, depending on the industry, but the 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 suit and tie model is gone, and that allows the suit and tie didn't tell you much about anything other than you're formal and corporate and you're going into the same setting. Right now, you can still have a formal corporate setting, but people aren't wearing a suit and tie. They're wearing a polo, they're wearing a quarter zip, and there's an opportunity to advertise on that, your brand. And that logo, everyone wants to talk about prejudice, but it's an absolute human nature, whatever you want to call it. You have literally under a second to convey something positive or negative, and that logo can do it along with your person. So it's really important.
Yeah. Don't you just
Well, that's why I said that is a drop the mic.
I would love to hear your thoughts. Brand promise, whether you want to share from.
Well, no, I was gonna reinforce why I called you a marketing guru. Like, you work with your customers and you educate them even more than beyond a t-shirt. And so you're guiding them, telling them about, you are the subject matter expert. Like, your logos are important, your color schemes are important. Not only that, it's your company and your people are important. Who you serve is important. So, like, I'm just really impressed. I've got goosebumps right now because you not only just walk the walk, like, well, you don't just say it, but you stand behind it. Like, your promise to your workforce and that, skills, education, training, you're a testament to that, standing right here, being able to develop those skill sets. Not only that, but like working with your customers, it's just all around amazing. So I don't know.
Thank you.
I don't have anything else to say besides kudos to you. I feel really privileged to be able to work with you guys and Apparel Redefined and be here with Kurt and work with him as a partner. You guys are pretty cool.
They're pretty cool to hang out. How about brand promise at IMEC? Do you want to just share, like, is this, this is such a new concept to me. How does that resonate with you, or what are your thoughts? Is like how you, and again, you're spreading a lot of love. You're pretty amazing yourself of how you help manufacturers. What's your takeaway on brand promise at IMEC?
Oh, geez. It's a big question without preparation. Our brand promise is to be able to work with as many Illinois manufacturers as possible, identify and meet them where they're at, to be able to identify the ways in which we can help them. So for us, I guess my brand promise is to always be there as a support and a guide and an assistance to help continue building the community, building the connections, building the skills, so that all of the different types of manufacturers we work with continue to be competitive and strong and thrive.
Well, how about a little drop the mic there? So, all right, why don't we start winding down? DB, I'm going to put you on the spot. Thoughts, takeaways, words of wisdom that you want to share for folks that are potentially looking at apparel, or maybe entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs out there, and like trying to figure out this whole brand promise. Anything that you want to share from your expertise?
I mean, it's a big question as well. Yeah, I mean, the market is changing. There are opportunities to, have these low overhead opportunities, and, I guess don't be afraid to try something, as the market is, lower entry point. There are solutions out there like us that can get people involved and, try things out that they maybe wouldn't do before. I spoke to a gentleman this week that spent 23 grand on starting up a golf company, and that's a huge thing. If it doesn't work out, God forbid, I surely hope that it does for him. But, some people start with things as a hobby. Some people want to take it a little bit more seriously. And I think this really, new developments that we've came across, it helps people, at least have a chance, that don't have a couple grand to invest in 144 pieces of this and that and sit on it, opportunities are out there that can, let people at least try to do something new and exciting in their life, so go for it and, seek out people like us that are going to, provide that quality, and, again, back to the whole branding, give a hoot about your brand, because, there's people out there that'll take your money, print your stuff and not care, so like, do your research, and, there's people out there like us that will, be a partner, that's Rock's tagline, your partner in print. That's what we want to be, not just a business relationship.
Awesome. Great answer. All right, we'll start winding down. I love to ask this question, so I'll put it out there to give you guys time to resonate. You and I hit this up quite a bit. I love asking, and again, just selfishly, shamelessly for me to learn, best business advice that you've ever received, or best business advice that you would love to share to a new entrepreneur, young entrepreneur. Who wants to go first?
Answer again?
Yeah.
I gotta have new stuff every time for the same question.
Well, there's a new audience.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
new one.
Okay. Best business advice I've ever got is from the great Dan Walsh Construction. Is that the water's deeper when you get in, right? And you have a huge responsibility. And don't ever take that for granted, because the decisions that you make or don't make, sometimes the worst decision is indecision, will have an impact on people's lives, especially in manufacturing, right? It's not 5 employees and nothing wrong with only having 5 employees, but as you grow north of 50, north of 100, 250, like multiply that by 5, 6, 7, like those are the number of people that you're impacting. So every decision matters, right? And that's the powerful thing about it. It's one thing I really love. It doesn't matter if I was making brake pads, chairs, tables, cameras, whatever. You have the ability to impact people's lives in a positive way, and take that seriously, because a couple bad decisions can really also have a negative effect. So the power of what you're able to do for people is a great responsibility, but something that shouldn't be taken lightly.
Yeah. And man, another drop the mic, right? Did you get chills, goosies on that one? So, all right, as a business owner, it's not just, an employee coming in the door. It's, livelihood that you're providing.
Mhm.
It's dance lessons. It's Little League. It's, kids growing up, families and, going on vacation. It's, it's providing, and you're how many, 50, 60 strong here?
Yeah, 55. Yeah.
55 strong. So, I mean, it's just so admirable what you've accomplished here, John. And again, I talk about this frequently. 4 out of 5 businesses fail in the first 5 years. 4 out of 5 businesses fail in the first 5 years. How many years have you owned the business now?
Going on 19.
Going on 19,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you're entering potentially going into your 5th 5-year cycle. Like you're an anomaly. You know what I mean? Like so many businesses fail, and hardly many businesses make it to 10 years, let alone 20. And you guys have stood the test of time, just providing great quality product for the community here. Absolutely love it. How about business advice? Anything that you want to share? Put you on the spot.
I thought you were going to ask what my walk-up song was. So thank God, because I'm not prepared for that.
Last time on that one, right?
So I guess my best business advice would be, don't try to boil the ocean. Crawl, walk, and then run.
Yeah.
So you need to be ready to scale in that type of way, and don't get overwhelmed by trying to boil it all.
I love it. All right. Last words, John, just anything that you want to share as we close out today. First off, I want to thank you.
No,
thank you
thank
for
you.
your
Yeah.
friendship. Thank you for your trust in IMEC and myself to be part of your team, part of the family here. It's just such an honor to watch you grow this company. Just, sky's the limit. And it's just so admirable, so exciting, so inspirational for me to be part of your life, part of this. Anything that you want to share as we close out?
Well, first, thank you. Thanks for coming in and doing this live. It's really cool. Live. We're live here and we're live in person. But I just want to say, one of the things that I really love about the manufacturing community is that, to me, it's near and dear because it's close to athletics, because you're only as strong as your weakest link, right? And building that team and building that relationship. One question I want to tie back in is, like, what can you do out there, or what's new for the manufacturing community and us as manufacturers that, we're heads down, working hard all day, and we don't ever really talk about ourselves because we're uncomfortable doing it, and we haven't had to, right? And we're so relationship based. Like, we've built our business based on relationships, and I love it because I call it the last frontier, right? Where it is about the relationship and not about the price and about what have you done for me yesterday. They put trust in us and they sell. So that's one thing I would say to the manufacturing community out there is, like, one of the ways to either strengthen that relationship or get a good relationship or a new relationship or customer is give to get, right? And one of the things that you can do with decorated apparel, it's easy to go spend, not a ton of money, but get some high quality stuff, introduce yourself, have that relationship, or strengthen that relationship, with actual gifts, not just kind of tchotchke type stuff, but stuff that with their logo or with your logo, whatever it is, but help that relationship, because gift giving is one of the oldest things in time, but it works, right? There's a reason why it works, and decorated apparel and that type of stuff really goes a long way, because it's not something that you throw in the back of your truck and maybe never see again, right? It's something that, if it's quality stuff, you can wear and convey that trust and convey the brand promise.
All right. No words after that one, Jacqueline, right? So just drop the mic. So, all right. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you, John. Appreciate you guys. Just wishing everybody an awesome day, rest of your week. And just, like we'd like to close out, Jacqueline, just go out and be someone's inspiration, just like these three guys. And so how about a big round of applause for everybody here. So we will catch you guys next time, and go to Apparel Redefined. John has he's doing live shows every week. You can catch all sorts of videos. If you need some amazing t-shirts, horror t-shirts, your favorite horror movie, they've got it here. So check out Apparel Redefined. If you're a manufacturer out there, go to your local manufacturing extension partnership. If you're in the great state of Illinois, contact our friend Jacqueline. So we're checking out. We'll see you guys soon.